Welcome, dear students, to the first chapter of SD, Me as a Citizen. In this lesson, we are going to understand the four basic principles of a democratic lifestyle, which is respect, cooperation, equality, and pro-social behavior with intrinsic motivation. We will also check the need to make some changes in ourselves, in the environment of our home or school, and most of all, we will learn to balance freedom and responsibility. Now, what does the term citizen mean? Basically, a person who lives in a particular country is a citizen of the country. So he gives allegiance to and has the rights and protection of a country. Ways to become a responsible citizen. Being a responsible citizen doesn't take much. It needs some common sense and a little bit of understanding. Here's how you become a responsible citizen of your country. Don't disrespect your country. Agreed, not many things are right with our country, right from the education and health system to our politicians. However, it doesn't mean we talk ill about it. Do we talk ill about our family in front of others just because we are mad at them? No. Dissing or insulting our own country is like piling dirt on the plate you eat your food on. So as far as possible, let's project on positive image about a country. Follow rules. Rules are there for a reason. If they weren't in place, this planet would have become a jungle. Always ensure you follow rules. Be it traffic rules on the road, standing in a queue for a movie ticket. Okay, so we have a situation here, and that is COVID-19 pandemic. So, wear a mask. Do things like they are to be done. If you follow rules, others also might start following them. Now, it doesn't mean you don't question things when they don't seem right. For example, if someone at the airport says it is a rule that you pay an airport tax before boarding your flight, you have the right to question them. Become more sensitive. It is very important that we become more sensitive. Not only is it very important, it is also what makes us human. You don't really have to go to school to learn how to be sensitive. It's fairly easy. In trains and elevators, wait for the people inside to alight first. Don't honk on the road unless absolutely needed. Keep your cell phones on silent mode in important places like work or a bank or a hospital. Say please and thank you often. Be helpful. If you see someone needing help on the road or anywhere else, don't hesitate to help. Case in point, the Delhi gang rape episode. Maybe if some passerby had taken her to the hospital earlier, it could have been possible to save her life. You never know when it could be one of your own. So whenever possible, reach out and try and help people. Even animals do, and they are supposed to be doing without feelings. Don't litter. There have been a million public service messages on the issue, and we still find people littering, throwing empty chocolate wrappers or juice cartons from the car, spitting and throwing cigarette butts, papers, and whatnot. But how come when the same people go abroad, they are on their best behavior? Will it take heavy penalty or jail to set such people straight? Why can't we be sensible enough on our own? Would you throw garbage in your living room? Agreed. There won't be a dustbin everywhere you go. So keep the trash with you until you return home and then dispose it. In case that is not possible, then a corner where you can dump it. Don't act like you own the place. Throw it in the middle of the road. That's wrong. See, there is no point in cribbing or whining about things without actually doing something about it. Follow what you preach, and the world will become a better place. Democracy in India. You know, there are different forms of government, like dictatorship, which means power to self. Then there is democracy, which means power to the people. Democracy literally means rule by the people. So, democracy is a government in which power and civic responsibility are exercised by all adult citizens directly or through their freely elected representatives. Different government systems are followed across the globe. For example, for decades, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, more commonly known as North Korea, has been one of the world's most secretive countries. Its government doesn't like people from outside the country going there and finding out what's going on. It shares a border with South Korea and the two countries have not got on with each other for a long time. North Korea is home to more than 25 million people who live under a form of communist rule, which strictly controls all areas of daily life. All TVs and radios are tuned to state channels, and people caught listening to foreign broadcasts face harsh punishments. These controls means that most North Koreans may have little or no idea of world's events or how their country is thought of by the outside world. Saudi Arabia is an Islamic country with an absolute monarch. Although according to the Basic Law of Saudi Arabia adopted by royal decree in 1992, the king must comply with Sharia, that is Islamic law, and the Quran. The Quran and the Sunnah are declared to be the country's constitution. Other than that, it is the 14th largest country on earth and has the largest sand desert. A liter of potable water is more expensive than a liter of oil in Saudi Arabia. Currently, China is probably the most interesting country on the planet. It has been the world's fastest growing economy for the last 30 years. It is now the world's second largest economy. Now Xi Jinping, China's president, is the most powerful figure in China's political system, and his influence mainly comes from his position as the General Secretary of the Chinese Communist Party. Xi is the core of 7-member Standing Committee of Politburo. They form the innermost circle of China's governance structure. All the institutions in China, including the government, the courts, and the military, report to the party. China says it is a country run according to the rule by law. But in general, rule by law is really the rule of the party by its own laws. Elections of delegates are strictly controlled by the party, and most of the delegates are party members or local government officials. Need for rules. Have you ever wondered, why do we have rules? What would life be like without rules? When you want to ask your teacher a question during the class, what do? Do you simply shout out your question as soon as it enters your mind? Or do you instead raise your hand and wait until the teacher calls your name? If you politely raise your hand first, it's probably because your teacher has a rule that states that what you're supposed to do when you have a question. Can you imagine what it would be like if everyone could simply talk whenever they wanted during the class? What if everyone could simply get up and do whatever they wanted during class? Do you think much learning would take place? Instead of an orderly, peaceful learning environment, a classroom without rules would be chaotic. If you're like many kids, you might feel there are too many rules. After all, you have rules at home, you have rules at school, you have rules in the sports you play. Why do we have so many rules? In fact, why do there have to be any rules at all? As you've probably already guessed from the classroom example discussed here, rules create order out of chaos. To live and function in a society, we must have rules we mostly agree upon. When you learn to drive, you'll realize how many rules apply to the act of operating a motorized vehicle. You can't go as fast as you want. You can't just park anywhere you want. You can't drive on whatever side of the road you want to drive on. The rules for driving share a common goal with many of the rules you must follow in all aspects of life on daily basis, keeping you safe. If you really feel like a particular rule is unjust, be proactive and learn more about the rule. Who created the rule? Why is it a rule? If it seems like there's no sufficient justification for the rule, don't ignore or break the rule. Instead, determine what you can do to try to change the rule. Respect. If we are to live and work together happily as a society, it is very important that we respect each other. Thus, the value of respect is extremely important to uphold at all times. We should respect another person even if we disagree with his or her opinion. Now the following actions shows disrespect for others. Like respecting a person on the face but ridiculing him behind his back. Not giving away your seat for elders to sit. Teasing someone for his or her weakness. Or interrupting someone while they are speaking. Ignoring somebody who is trying to talk to you. Making faces, rolling your eyes when somebody is talking to you, or even playing with your mobile when somebody is talking to you. Now remember, when we disrespect someone, it not only affects that person but affects our life as well. Now there are non-living entities like food, river, lake, sea, forest, public transport, money, etc. When we disrespect resources, they are damaged, polluted, wasted and cannot be used by everybody equally. Showing respect to non-living entities shows the commitment and dedication towards many aspects of life. For example, respecting money or other physical objects shows that one is appreciating the hard work that was laid down in order to possess them. Say for example, boxes of chocolates, chocolate bars, chocolate cakes, a hot cup of cocoa, brownies, chocolate mousse, chocolate chip cookies. Who doesn't indulge in chocolate in some form or the another? I think it's fair to say that majority of people love chocolate. And why wouldn't we? Chocolate seems to be a part of our everyday lives. So, let's see the journey of chocolate from farm to factory. Well, now you know that so many people are needed to make it possible for you to enjoy a chocolate bar. So is the case with most of the things we enjoy. Value and learn to respect them. Cooperation. To live together happily as a society, it is very important to cooperate with each other. Cooperation is a value we need to cherish. And for that matter, accomplish tasks no matter how difficult, just because they cooperate with each other.
We're stronger when we work together.
See, children, we need to understand that to fulfill our personal needs, we depend on a lot of elements in the society. Being able to work together with others to reach a goal or overcome a challenge will set your path for future success. Now, let's discuss some rights which we all have equally. Right to safety. While using many goods and services, we as consumers have the right to be protected against the marketing of goods and delivery of services that are hazardous to life and property. Producers need to strictly follow the required safety rules and regulations. There are many goods and services that we purchase that require special attention to safety. Say for example, pressure cookers have a safety valve which defective can cause serious accident. The manufacturers of the safety valve have to ensure high quality. Right to education. India became one of 135 countries to make education a fundamental right of every child. The Act makes education a fundamental right of every child between the ages of 6 and 14. Right to have a healthy life. Article 25 of the United Nations states that everyone has the right to a standard living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and his family, including food, clothing, housing and medical care and necessary social services. Then we have right to consume clean air, water and food. Every individual in this planet has the right to consume fresh air, water and food. Not by any circumstances must he be denied access to them. The global leaders today are aiming to provide these basic amenities to every human being. Now, for example, if everyone has the right to safety, then it is our responsibility to follow traffic and safety rules. If we have right to healthy life, then staying away from addictions, having good eating and exercise habits, following public sanitation rules, etc. are our responsibilities. If clean drinking water is our right, then we are responsible to keep our rivers clean. Democracy is a form of government. Democracy is strong only when we follow a democratic lifestyle, means respecting everyone, cooperating with everyone, being aware of the fact that everyone has an equal right to respect and dignity, etc. It is also our duty to see that the four values, that is respect, cooperation, equal rights or pro-social behavior, that is intent to benefit others. These values should not be hampered in any way. Let us discuss the factors that hamper democracy. Discrimination between the people. Discrimination based on cultural differences. Damage to public property and mob mentality. Not differentiating between facts and opinions. Not verifying the facts. Individuals' small actions and their larger impacts. Now see, we use facilities like electricity, water, etc. If each one of us could use them wisely, we can save a lot of electricity and water, and a large number of people would be able to use them. We get to use public transport like bus, train for a reasonable price. If we use them frequently, they can make profit and we can get better quality public transportation. We are also taxpayers and voters. If each one performs their responsibilities honestly, our country can progress. So students, based on the topics discussed so far, I am sure you are now aware how important it is to be a responsible citizen. That is, a citizen who knows about his role in his community, his country and world at large. It also means he participates in activities that makes this world a better place. Not just as a citizen of our country, but also as a member of a family, a student in a school. We are a part of the society. We need to cooperate with others. In short, democracy should just not be limited to governance, but has to become our personal lifestyle too. That's all for now. Thank you.